The I&E Sportsreel, the top action from around the world.
The last big snow of spring means the last big ski jump. Stars of 8 European nations take the hill at Kulm in Austria. They have one of the world's longest runs to gain speed, and when they take off, they soar for distance. But the trick is to land standing up. It's a hill to challenge the best. The sky is full of men who fly without wings. It's the coming down that seems to upset them. And how? The contest is close between Finland, Norway, and East Germany. Another crack-up coming up. And here's the title-winning performance. East Germany's Werner Lesser, who trains all year on plastic snow, soars for a prodigious leap of 396 feet. And what's more, he lands right side up.
At Daytona Beach, Florida, speed bike drivers give their machines a last-minute tune-up for the 200-mile Daytona Motorcycle Classic. A field of nearly 100 daredevil handlebar jockeys away to a roaring start. A tough grind ahead for machines and men. Every turn takes its toll. Outstanding riders from every part of the country competing in this one. At $2,000 first prize awaiting the winner. Throttles wide open and the crack-ups are spectacular. Another bites the dust, but fast. As the race goes on, the field gets smaller and the pace setters ahead of the pack hit speeds of better than 100 per on the straightaway. Number 5, John Gibson of Duarte, California, taking over at the 44th lap with an average speed of 94 plus, streaks in the winner. Daytona 200-mile speed champ for 1956.
One of the top stops on the golf circuit, and 15,000 roam the Augusta National Course in Georgia for the 20th Masters Championship, and one of the rare appearances of Ben Hogan. But both Hogan and Sam Snead, now teeing off, are trailing. Here's a real old master, Gene Sarazen. Dr. Kerry Middlecoff, 1955 winner, in second place. Jack Burke is 8 shots back. His chances look thin. The sensation of the tournament has been Ken Venturi, San Francisco amateur just out of service, who starts the last round with a 4-stroke advantage over Middlecoff. Gallery figures it's now strictly between Middlecoff and Venturi, who appear to be the only contenders with any hopes of winning. Middlecoff is still hanging on. But a dark horse is gaining fast on both leaders. Burke plays a 35 on the first 9, while the wind is giving the pacemakers plenty of trouble. Venturi's putter, so deadly through the first 3 rounds, is going back on him now. As the tournament moves towards its climax, it becomes a 3-way battle with Burke right in there. Venturi is wobbling badly, and it's a toss-up as to the winner. Middlecoff has dashed his hopes with a 6 on the par 4 17th. He closes with a 77 and a final score of 291. And now Burke, with a chance to win, has bunkered his approach on the home hole. But Jack explodes a beauty from the sand to within 4 feet of the cup. A tricky downhiller, but Burke cans the putt. His playing partner, Mike Sushak, shares his jubilation. 5 on the 17th has cost Venturi the last shred of his lead. He's home in 2 on the final green, but needs a birdie to tie Burke. His long putt misses above the hole, and Ken fails in his effort to become the first amateur winner of the Masters. Out of nowhere, Jack Burke spurts to a great victory with a winning score of 289.
Fighting Sons of the Navy, lusty offspring of officers at Annapolis, weigh in for the annual Kids Boxing Tournament at the Naval Academy. Phantom battlers ready for action. Youngsters from 5 years old and up learning the fundamentals of give and take in an event founded by famous Navy boxing coach Spike Webb, now retired. Clear the decks for a couple of the Mosquito Fleet class. Look at that spry youngster. He may not throw much leather, but his footwork is terrific. Second bout coming up. This destroyer moves in fast, runs into a torpedo, but gets right back into the fray. Another pair of shipmates. Here's one with a plan of battle. He keeps his jab going to get in, and then lets go with his secret weapon. Another pair of pint-sized battle wagons sail in for a ready exchange with the big guns right on the target. That salvo was rugged. As this one comes back to port, Father is there to help tighten up the seams. And back he goes. They never give up the ship in the Navy. Youngsters developing the will and courage to take it, no matter how rough the going.
At Fort Bliss, Texas, weird and strange maneuvers were going on recently. Soccer football, the Englishman's best-loved sport, had arrived. A semi-pro Mexican team from Juarez, snappily attired in soccer suits, challenged the local army boys to the ancient British game and crossed the border to carry out their threat.
Your Congress has enacted a law to assist you to vote. The law provides that you may vote by absentee ballot in almost all states. The federal voting law applies to all members of the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard, their families, dependents, and in fact, all qualified civilians abroad. The law, however, does not guarantee your right to vote unless you qualify under the laws of your own state. See your voting officer today. He will help you qualify. Remember, you can't vote without a ballot, and you can't get a ballot unless you send for it. Vote.
Uncle Sam looks to the service stars for some of his brightest Olympic prospects. Here's an indoor meet before a record 10,000 crowd in Milwaukee, and victory goes to a GI. Willie Williams of Fort Knox, Kentucky, whizzes down the chute to win the 50-yard dash by a whisker from Bob McCown of Illinois. A Marine is our best bet in the mile, but difficulties with the Amateur Athletic Union may prevent Lieutenant Wes Santee from running in Australia. Because of this cloud, only 2 other servicemen, Ed Kirk of the Air Force and Bill Taylor of the Marines, compete against him. The other milers are afraid to jeopardize their own amateur standing. It's practically no contest as Santee pours it on, gunning for the finish line. But although Wes goes all out, the lack of keen competition affects his time. and he's clocked in 4:10 and 5/10, away off his best and nowhere near the 4-minute mark. Our best miler, but it looks as if Wes Santee will be scratched from the Olympics. One of the biggest outdoor relays of the season is put on by the Marines at Quantico, Virginia. Runners from the services and the colleges. In the 120-yard high hurdles, Lieutenant Jack Davis of the Navy duels with Lee Calhoun, North Carolina College. Davis wins in 13 8/10 seconds to avenge 3 indoor defeats by Calhoun. Jack is voted top athlete of the meet. The open mile, a big field, but no Wes Santee. The Marine lieutenant is sidelined at the party where he is one of the hosts. He fought the AAU suspension in the courts, but it was finally upheld. When they swing around the last quarter, Joe Dede of Washington is out in front and pulling away. He wins in slow time, 4:20 and 9/10. After that, the deluge. Rain that marred the first day of the meet pours down again. And it's Willie Williams again. The Fort Knox speedster beats out Theo Bush of Fort Lee in the 100-yard dash in 9 9/10. Mighty fast for a sloppy track.
At Fort Bliss, Texas, weird and strange maneuvers were going on recently. Soccer football, the Englishman's best-loved sport, had arrived. A semi-pro Mexican team from Juarez, snappily attired in soccer suits, challenged the local army boys to the ancient British game and crossed the border to carry out their threat. An international team composed of soldiers from MDAP countries who are studying at Fort Bliss and some American soldiers accepted the challenge. A hush fell over the empty stands. The captains flipped a coin to see who would run which way first, and after the referee had straightened himself out, the game began. From the kickoff, the Mexicans went into action and charged down the field trying to put the ball in the Fort Bliss goal. The attack was foiled, however, and after some tricky dribbling and a workout in ballet dancing positions, the players settled down to the game seriously. A corner kick afforded the Mexican left-wing player an excellent opportunity to show his stuff. With a hard kick, he put the ball in the goal mouth, from where his teammate should have scored, but didn't. Good heavens, they don't have any net on the goal. You can't use your hands in this game, but it's considered frightfully clever play if you hit the ball with your head. This invariably hurts, and is recommended only when it is quite impossible to hit the ball with anything else. The name soccer is an abbreviation of Football Association, which was formed in 1863 in England to give the game some rules and the players some incentive to rush about after the ball. The origin of the game is a puzzle, but according to the encyclopedia, and I quote, "The kicking of inflated bladders on public greens in villages was a popular diversion for youths of the lower classes in Great Britain during the early 16th century," unquote. The early immigrants carried soccer to the American colonies, but it didn't catch on, and it wasn't until 1918 that the first organized soccer match was held in America. It's a goal kick, and the goalkeeper, who is the only one allowed to handle the ball, punts it down the field. The Fort Bliss team get a free kick at the goal, and crouching low, the goalie holds his breath. Oh, well saved, sir. How terribly professional. They're mixing it up now, each team fighting for a breakaway. The game is fast and exhausting, and of course there's no such thing as substitutes in this game. By tricky passing, the ball is carried down the field. But there's that blasted fullback again, defending his goal and spoiling the army attack. Even barging the goalkeeper can't stop this game. Heads up, dearie. Knock him down. It's another corner kick, but nobody converts it to a goal. This is the tensest moment in the game. Another free kick. A last chance to... It's a goal!
Hey, Mac,
Yes, old boy?
I got news for you, bud.
What's that?
It ain't never gonna replace baseball.
You might think that when a Navy frogman was off duty, he would go as far from water as possible just for a change of scenery. These boys from the Underwater Demolition Team No. 2 on assignment off the Virgin Islands have other ideas. They use their spare time to do some serious undersea fishing in Neptune's fascinating front yard. Armed with arbalests, which take their name from the ancient crossbow, the frogmen are ready to go hunting in the unexplored fields of the deep. Equipped with aqua lungs that carry about 1,800 pounds pressure and deliver oil-free compressed air, the hunters can stay down for about an hour at a time. Most of the good fishing is found in the shoreline waters up to 30 feet deep. If the diver is trained for the sport, he'll know that all he has to do is keep the body pressure equal to the water pressure, and nothing will go wrong. For anyone who hasn't been in these waters, and we mean in them, it's an experience in a new and fascinating world. Brilliantly colored tropical fish lurk in the strange submarine vegetation or hide in the caves of rock and coral. For the piscatorial huntsman, it's a game preserved, untouched since the beginning of time, where new sporting thrills are awaiting on every foray. A game fish in the picture. Just like hunting topside, you keep your quarry in your sight as you carefully aim and fire. Whoops, just missed it. The arbalests, which are about 3 feet long, shoot a small harpoon or spearhead. They're fairly accurate and ranges from 6 to 10 feet. They're on the trail, or should we say tail, of another fish. That's no easy target, much faster on the getaway than most land animals. This time our huntsman takes good aim and lets him have it. Yes, sir, and that was slick shooting. On the target again. Most of these fellows are from 2 to 5 or 6 pounders. You've got to be quick on the trigger to hit them before they flash away. Sometimes you're stalking them out of rocks and caves, but you never have a dull moment in the pursuit. You might run into anything when you prod into the small, dark hideaways 30 feet down. The hunting is good. They are having better than fisherman's luck, as you can see. Here's the big one that didn't get away. The quarry this time is a much tougher proposition. No amateur undersea fisherman would come off with it quite so handily, but that frogman knows his business. He has a fighting mad shark by the tail. A shark, even a comparatively small one, can kick up plenty of trouble. They are one of the toughest skinned and least vulnerable of any battler of the sea, and one of the most ferocious. There's only one way to finish him off, and you have to know how to accomplish that before he takes a chunk out of you. For a couple of frogmen with an afternoon off, it's been a pleasant day. Yes, sir, these boys from UDT number 2, training off the Virgin Islands, have been hunting where the hunting's good. Why don't you come down sometime? Boston's Red Sox are the early choice as the Yankees' American League pennant rivals, and nearly 32,500 in Fenway Park see Governor Herter of Massachusetts perform the ancient rite. The Red Sox get away against Baltimore and win just as easily as the Yanks. Ted Williams pulls 3 left field hits in an 8-1 victory.
People of all countries watch our elections. Candidates, parties, issues. These have far-reaching effects all over the world. Every election is a demonstration of freedom in action, proof that our democracy is of, for, and by the people. To people who do not have a free ballot, our use of the right to vote will point the way. The Armed Forces provides you the opportunity to vote. Study the issues, the candidates, and make your choice. See your voting officer. Get your registration and voting information. Send for your ballots. Above all, remember, vote.
For the baseball fan, winter is forgotten when the season opens. It's official when the president throws out the first ball. An old sandlot outfielder does it before nearly 28,000 in Washington. The players scramble, and Gil McDougal of the Yankees gets it. After the ceremonies, Mickey Mantle takes over. He clouts 2 king-sized home runs. President Eisenhower gets a big kick out of their distance, and the Yankees wallop Washington in their opener 10-4. Boston's Red Sox are the early choice as the Yankees' American League pennant rivals, and nearly 32,500 in Fenway Park see Governor Herter of Massachusetts perform the ancient rite. The Red Sox get away against Baltimore and win just as easily as the Yanks. Ted Williams pulls 3 left field hits in an 8-1 victory. The big show in the National League is at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn. First, a mammoth parade of loyal Brook fans. Who ever heard of disloyal ones? Inside, 25,000 gather to see the world champs face the Phillies. Oh, happy Brooklyn days. That's D-A-Z-E. Hoisting the first world championship flag in Flatbush history, and manager Walter Alston gets a big kick out of it. Johnny Padres, the Brooks World Series hero, is now in the Navy, but he's around for the big day and shows Roy Campanella how a gob wears his top piece. More than half an hour late due to all the celebrations, the Brooks go out to battle and the fans roar. It's a great day for the Dodgers, except for one little detail. They forget to win the game. A 3-run homer by Jimmy Greengrass routs Big Don Newcomb. Robin Roberts manages to thwart the Brooks, and the Phillies spoil the party by winning 8-6. One home opener is enough for most clubs, but 2 days later it's over and under the rivers to Jersey to do it all over again. The Dodgers are playing part of their home schedule in Jersey City. It fails to hop up the attendance. Only about 12,000, half of capacity, come out for the show. But the parading goes on just like the Army. Mayor Bernard Berry of Jersey City in form. It's a strike to Campy. It looks like another bad day for the Dodgers, but they finally win in the 10th, 5-4.
Yankee Stadium stages the first big series of the season. The Red Sox come to grips with the American League champions. 35,000 at the final game. Joe Collins of the Yanks up in the second inning with a man on against Frank Sullivan. Joe lines one deep to right. Jackie Jensen leaps but misses, and it just clears the wall for a homer. It scores Bill Scarron ahead, and the Yanks, after winning the first 2 games, lead again. More trouble for the Sox in the fourth. Jerry Lumpy's grounder is booted by Billy Klaus with 2 on. Klaus fails to nip Scarron off third, and the bases are full with pitcher Don Larson up. Sullivan fires. And there it goes, a big drive over the fence in right center for a grand slam. That's 4 more runs to make it 6-1 for the Yankees. Fifth inning, Jimmy Pearsall sends a blast roaring over Hank Bauer's head in left for 2 bases as the Sox start to fight back. After a walk to Budden, Ted Williams pinch hits against Larson. Ted comes through with a hit up the middle. It sends Pearsall scampering home as the Sox rally for 3 runs. Seventh inning, Lumpy's throw pulls Scarron off first base, and the sacks are loaded because it follows a hit and an error. The Sox finally tie the score. On Goodman's grounder to Carey, Budden hustles for home and just makes it. Yogi Berra chases him, but umpire Hurley rules he did touch the plate. Back come the Yanks in their half against Frank Baum and Boston Bonus Baby. Mickey Mantle cracks the tie with a fierce double to right center that hits the wall on the first bounce, sending Bauer and McDougald home. Casey Stengel is jumping. And Berra delivers another home run. The Yankees wallop the Red Sox 13-6 to make a clean sweep of the first big series.